All right, so right now contracts are at 390%. We got pretty much a full exit. We're holding a couple runners, but pretty much full exit at 481 at the IV wall. And the whole reasoning behind this trade is going into today, we had a very heavy short bias. And the reasoning behind it, you can see we're at the 10% odds, right? This was at yesterday's close. And we've rejected this 10% odds 1, 2, 3, 4 other times before this rejection today. And on top of that, if you go into the option analyzer, you can see we were at an H7 yesterday. We've only actually ever made higher than an H7 one time. So one time over the last 200 days. And then if you increase it even more, say to 2,000 days, go back into option analyzer, you can see we've only made higher than an H7 1, 3, 5, 7 times. So 7 times over the last 2,000 days, we've made a higher high from this point right here. So just off that, very unlikely to make an H8 going into today. Then on top of that, we were at the 10% odds on the 7-wave 60 minute. And this is my favorite setup personally, is when you have a high H count, so the odds of continuing higher are unlikely. We're also at the 10% odds, which makes it even more unlikely. It's just stacking up. And then you're also at the 10% odds on the 7-wave 60 minute. Now, what we were looking at this morning for the entry, we entered right around, I want to say like 502.8, fairly close to the top. And the reasoning behind that was 7-wave 5 minute had crossed below vector pretty much right at open. And remember, when we're above pivot, this black line, but below vector, this purple line, the idea is we get a move back towards pivot. So we were holding below vector on the 7-wave 5 minute. On the 20-wave 5 minute, we had also crossed below. We were kind of testing back and forth between vector, but with the 7-wave 5 minute, the 50-wave 1 minute also holding below vector, you can see right here. And then the 10-wave 15 minute was testing right here. We had all 4 smaller time frames agreeing on a move back towards pivot or to the downside. And then if we did get that small move to the downside, we had our 7-wave 60 minute vector right here, which was, it looks different now because we reset below pivot. See if I can find a picture, but originally it was at this 502.02 level, which is why we have it marked out. And we wrote over here earlier in the morning, 7-wave 60 minute vector, 502.02, cross below, look for move back to pivot. And this right here is that move back to pivot, this entire move back down. So we had the smaller time frames below vector saying we want to move back to pivot, and then we had the larger time frames saying it's very, very unlikely, like almost, I'd say like it's never going to be impossible, there's always going to be outliers, but like a less than like 5 to 3% chance that we continue higher today. So all of those stacked up, got in our shorts or our puts. We went $1 above our IV wall, so we got in 499s. So our IV wall started right here. We took our first trim at this yellow box support, then at 100%, and then at max range. And then we took our pretty much full exit right at IV wall, and you can see almost a perfect bounce. Kind of the whole idea behind the trade, and holding a few runners for IV overflow if we continue lower. But are there any questions on the why behind that trade?
No, it's easy. A lot of evidence. I like it.
If everyone's all good and there's nothing else, I'm gonna head out. We'll hold some runners. I'll alert trims at IV overflow and max trend days if you are holding anything.